Listen to this podcast now
on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Leadership Thread with Dr. Peggy Polonis.
I'm Dr. Peggy Polonis. Join me on each episode where I unravel the story that shaped leaders, tracing the thread that led them where they are today. Because leadership isn't born in adulthood. And thank you once again for joining us on the Leadership Thread, education, ethics, and sustainability.
Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi. Okay, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Okay. Want to get back to some of this business in going on with Iran. French President, Donald Trump. They're not Donald Trump. Donald Trump. The other day, Donald Trump talked about Macron and caused outrage in France because in expressing his displeasure with Macron, he talked about the infamous scene at the airport when Macron's wife was seen slapping him in the face. And Donald Trump brought it up. The whole diplomatic community is outraged that Donald Trump would bring up such a thing. But, cut 33, French President, Macron, and this is what Macron has to say about the efforts in Iran.
Iran is a very bad regime. No discussion about that. I disagree with them on a lot of topics. But I don't believe that we will fix the situation just by bombings or by military operations. Look at what happened with this type of operation in Iraq, in Afghanistan, in Libya. We never delivered. Never. Even after 20 years. So you have to respect the sovereignty of people. If people want to change a regime, they want to react, step up, they can do so.
They can do so. They can do so. If they want to react, they can do so. Iran is a very bad regime, but we're not going to do anything. No, not. My wife will slap me again. Then we're not going to do anything to help. Now, General Keane, Jack Keane, was on Fox News, and he reacted to Cut 34. Now, he reacted to what we're hearing from the U.S. allies that apparently people like Kathleen Parker over at the Washington Post are okay with.
What I find offensive is that Austria, Italy, some limitations in France, and the UK, slow to come around, are saying you can't use the bases that we finance in order to launch this operation. Do you find that disappointing?
Disappointing? That's not strong enough. It's outrageous. I mean, here we are doing something that's in our national interest, in the interest of allies in the region, to be sure, but in the world's interest. I mean, the world economy depends on a distribution of oil out of the Middle East. Everybody knows that. So the benefit that comes from pushing back the number one predator for almost 5 decades, Iran, and taking away their capability, everybody benefits from that. And the fact that they take such a narrow view of this, I mean, the president has a right to be furious over the fact that France will not let us fly over their airspace, that Italy and Germany and Spain are not letting us. Yeah.
It's outrageous.
These are bases there. These are U.S. bases and not letting us use our own U.S. bases to support the war. What are they thinking?
Yeah, they're thinking TDS, as is the mainstream press in this country. Folks, they're anxious to see Donald Trump fail, regardless of what it takes. If it means Iran surviving, a nuclear Iran threatening the world rather than have Donald Trump succeed, that's what they want. If it means the state sponsor of terrorism will be allowed to commit terror indefinitely, that's what they want, as long as Trump doesn't succeed. None of these people complained when Obama sent $1 billion in cash on pallets on a secret flight in the middle of the night to Iran. Not one of them complained. These same voices out complaining now, none of them complained. But they complain. Donald Trump is wrong to actually question NATO when NATO is doing their best to see to it that the number one state sponsor of terror continues to exist because they have TDS. And they've been mad at Donald Trump ever since the first term, when Donald Trump demanded that they actually stop leaning on America and not paying the 2% that they were expected to pay of their GDP to support their own defenses and instead put that money in NATO. They have been angry ever since. These welfare states of Western Europe, which are all falling to pieces, many of them, not all, but most of them, because of open borders, immigration, are ticked off that Donald Trump has actually demanded that they share in their own defense, that they pay some of the cost of their own defense, instead of what has happened ever since the end of World War II. Ever since the end of World War II, Europe has built, Western Europe, incredible welfare states because the United States taxpayer were taking care of their defense needs. And Donald Trump has put a stop to it. It is insane, this level of animosity and this is not just Trump. That's who they're leveling the attacks at. But this is against the United States of America. That's where these attacks from Europe are coming from. They're putting up a middle finger to America. They don't need us right now, they think. Now, one of the things that General Jack Keane talked about was the free flow of oil. This is something that Rush used to talk about all the time. And people hate it on the left. In fact, you can see them chanting at their rallies. No war for oil. No war for oil. No war for, as they get on buses fueled by oil, as they go to their houses heated by oil, as they do wear glasses and use all sorts of accessories that all of us use every day without thinking that oil has something to do with almost every product that human beings use in the modern world, whether it's the manufacture of them or whether it's oil is key. Oil is called it is the true economic engine of Western civilization. It is not solar energy. It's not any other forms of energy. And I am not opposed to other forms of energy. But right now, what fuels the world's economy, the entire economy of this world, in terms of our transportation, our manufacturing, our goods, is oil. And so this idea that the Strait of Hormuz is not important enough for Europe to step in is ridiculous. What's left of the European civilization, Western civilization, would fall completely apart without energy sources. They ought to be thanking us, just like they should have been thanking us in the decades after World War II, but they didn't. You talk about international ingrates with a superiority complex. That's what Western Europe is. Their civilizations are falling apart. Literally. They are falling apart. The UK is not what it was. France, if left to their own devices, couldn't fight their way out of a paper bag anymore. Spain, if attacked by a major force, would fall in a day. So would Portugal, even though they're not hostile to us. Europe, Italy would definitely fall. Germany, the Germans put up a fight. They still have some engineers over there that are pretty primo. But overall, Europe would fall. And instead of any kind of gratitude for what the United States has done, is doing, all we get is animosity. And our own press here, instead of supporting this nation when we're trying to correct one of the biggest mistakes of the 20th century, letting Iran rise to threaten the world, possibly with nuclear capability. Our press here decides that they want to stand with Europe with their TDS on full display, because that is what this is all about. This is not about policy. This is not about strategy. This is not about right and wrong. This is not about defending national interests. This entire response is about TDS.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Sacco and Felice, New York and New Jersey's premier attorneys at law. Their team brings decades of experience across a wide range of practice areas. Whatever life brings, they're your legal team. From everyday matters to complex cases, they've got you covered with the experience you need and the results you want. Because when life gets complicated, they make it simple. SaccoFelice.com. SACCOFILLAS.com. 2 C's, 2 L's.